Alrighty, hello again. This is like round two for today. I know you love it. All right, so we're going to take what we did in class today with that proportion or those equivalent ratios, and we're going to use it for our homework tonight. Just to remind you of what we discovered or what we did in class towards the end of the period is that we had our equivalent ratios. And just to remind you what that was, it was the part over the whole, and we used our information to create our equivalent ratios. On the left-hand side, we had the part and the whole in relation to the problem. And on the right-hand side, we had whatever percent they gave us over 100 because it's a percentage or a part of 100%. So we're going to use that information to answer our questions today in the homework. So number one says a baseball pitcher won 80% of his games. So underline that. He won 80%. That's a pretty good percentage. That means he won more than he lost, right? If he pitched 35 ball games in total, how many games did he win? Well, first we need to identify if it's a part, a whole, a percent, where it belongs. The percent is very obvious. The percent is always a percent. So 80. If he pitched 35 games in total, so if he pitched 35 games in total, would that be a part or a whole? What do you think? It would actually be the whole because it's 35 games and we want to know which ones did he win of the total. So 35 would be our whole, and we're looking for the part, and we use X to represent unknown values. Then we take our percent proportion, which is this guy right here, and we're simply going to fill in our values. So we have blank over blank equals blank over 100. Our percent goes on top, so we have 80 over 100. Then we have part over whole. Part is X, whole is 35. Now we need to use cross products or cross multiplication to get our answer. Cross means you're making like a crisscross. So you're doing 100 times X, which gives you 100X. Bring down your equal sign, and then 80 times 35. I'm going to write that 80 times 35. Now we just need to simplify and solve. So we have 80 times 35, which is 2,800, equals 100x. Now we're down to a simple one-step equation that we all know how to solve. We're solving for x, so we're going to divide both sides by 100. These cancel out. Whatever you do to one side, you need to do to the other. I ran out of space here, so I'll bring it all the way over there. So we have x equals 28. Now, a target statement for this would be something like, the baseball pitcher won 28 games of the 35 games he pitched. Notice we state the answer of how many games he won, but also reference the total games. All right, onward. Now, all of these kind of ask for a different piece, which is totally fine. Number 2 says a worker has installed 65% of the tiles. So they've installed 65% of the tiles for a tile floor. If they installed 120 tiles, how many tiles are there in total? This is the key. If they're asking you how much in total, what are they asking you for? The part or the whole? So they're asking for the whole. So the whole is actually our unknown here. Our percent is always just our percent. And our number is our part, actually, because it's how many they've installed so far. So we have, I'm going to start using my little equation editor, so it's a little bit neater, a little bit nicer, and hopefully I can fit it all. So you have part over whole, which in this case would be 120. Oops. 120 over Nope, won't do it. Which in this case is 120, which is the part, over the whole, which we don't know, which is x. The equivalent fraction in percents is our percent, which is 65 over 100. Now, from here, we're going to use our cross product. So we're going to cross multiply. So we're going to do 120 times 100, which gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gives us 12,000. And we're going to do 65 times x. What did I forget to write here? The equal sign. I forgot to write the equal sign. Come on now. All right, now we just solve like we do for any other equation. We divide both sides by 65. Look how much more room I have. Divide by 65. And we get an answer of x equals 184.6 rounded. Well, you can't really well, I guess in tiles you can install 0.6 of a tile because sometimes you have to cut the tiles near the walls and all that. So a good target statement here would be the workers installed 184, or you can even say about 184 tiles in total. This way you're referencing the answer and what it refers to. So you got 184 tiles and it represents the total. All right. Number 3. Jerry, an electrician, worked 7 months out of the year. What percent of the year did he work? So for this one, it's asking for the percent. So whatever it's asking for, you know right away is going to be the x. If it's asking for the percent, it's going to be the x. If it asks you for the total, it's the whole. If it asks you for a part, it's the part. Now let's determine the part and the whole. For this one, the part would be 7 months out of the year. Well, how many months are in a year? 12 months. So Jerry worked 7 out of 12, which makes 7 the part, 12 the whole. Then we're going to use our percent proportion. So we have the part over the whole, which is 7 over 12, is equal to our percent, which we don't know, over 100. From here, we're going to use cross products to solve. 7 times 100 is 700. X times 12 is 12x. And we get the equal sign in between. Then we divide both sides by 12. And we get x equal to 58.3 repeating. So 0.333. And it wants us to round to the nearest hundredth. So that would be 2 places. So x equals 58.33. The target statement for this would be Jerry worked 58.33% of the year. Period. All right. Last but not least, we have the Sweater Shack, very creative name, is offering a 20% discount on all sweaters. Part A. If the regular price of a sweater is $25, what is the discount? So notice we didn't write in the part whole percent here, but you should. You should get in the habit of doing part whole percent. That way we can identify the different parts. So in this case, they want to know what is the discount. Well, the discount would be the amount of money you're saving or the part of the money you're saving. Do we know that yet? We sure don't. So the part would be X. The whole would be the regular price of the sweater because it's the whole price of the sweater. It's the most it'll ever cost. And the percent is our percent discount, 20%. There's 2 ways you could do this, but for this purpose of this question and this homework, I'm just going to do this one way. If you do it another way, just talk to us about it in class and we'll tell you if it's right. All right, so let's make our proportion. So part over whole, x over 25 equals percent over 100, 20 over 100. Then we need to cross multiply and solve. So we have x times 100 is 100x. Bring down your equal sign. 20 times 25 gives you 500. And then divide both sides by 100. And you get x equals 5. So a target statement for this section would be the discount is 5 what? 5%? Nope, $5. Part B. Using your answer from Part A, how much would you pay for the sweater after discount? Well, if I have the original price, am I going to add or subtract my discount? Well, if you added a discount, well, that would make sense. So then it's going to cost you $30 for the sweater? I thought discounts were percent off, so meaning you're saving money. So you would subtract the two. So you do the original minus the discount to give you the new price. So our original was $25. So 25 minus our discount of $5 gives us 20. That means that we would pay $20 for the sweater after a 20% discount. Period. Now, don't worry, we're going to work on this more in class. We're going to show you a different way to solve it as well that you might like better. Who knows? We'll see. Let us know if you have any trouble, and see you guys tomorrow.